Hey yogis, Amanda here with Naptime Yogi. Want to share a quick sequence with you to help relieve tension in your calves. A lot of times we don't know how to release those muscles. So that's what we want to do here today is provide a little release. So if you suffer from leg cramps, this would be a good practice for you, or if you just feel really tense in the lower leg and just feel like you need to stretch it out, this will be a good one. So let's get started. For this class, you might like to have a blanket, a couple blocks, and a strap. If you don't, that's okay. We're going to start with our blanket. If you don't have a blanket, you can use a towel, or you can even use your mat, because what we're going to do is we're going to roll it up. And so if you don't have a blanket, you can just take your mat and roll it up like so. This is something you might want to play with, how tight you roll your blanket or mat, how large you roll it, because it's definitely going to make a difference in the sensation you're going to feel. And we're going to sit on our heels. And then once we have our blanket or whatever we're using rolled up, we're just going to lift our booties up, and we're going to take that blanket and position it behind our knees. And then once you've got that in position, you're just going to sit back onto your heels. All right. So this is providing some pressure into the calves to help release the fascia if it's really tense or balled up. And if this can be very intense. So if this is too intense for you, you can always just lean forward, take your blocks for a little support, lean forward slightly. The further back you sit on your heels, the more intense it's going to be. The more you come forward, the less intense. So play where feels best for you. And we're going to be here for a couple breaths. So a nice tall spine. Inhaling and exhaling. And if at any point it becomes too much, just ease up, listen to your body. Your body knows what it needs. And then we're just going to take that blanket or mat, we're going to move it down maybe an inch further down our leg, and then sit back down. You'll feel a bit of a different sensation because it's hitting a different area in the leg. Remember to keep the spine nice and tall, shoulders down the back. If your shoulders are starting to crouch up to your chin, then you're doing too much, because we don't want to tense up. So ease up a little bit so that you can relax your shoulders down. Good. Okay, now we're just going to move the blanket down a little bit further. I think you can really tell with this where you're carrying the tension in your calves, because as we move down, you can feel where it might be a little more intense than in other spots. And it's interesting, I think it's interesting to know where exactly that tension is. It gives us a good place to know where to work and where to target. last one, we're going to move it down a little bit more. Should be like right above the ankles now. And this is a great practice because it's so simple and easily accessible for most people that you could easily do it at the end of the day while watching a movie or just hanging out and still get a nice release into your legs. So definitely come back to this whenever you feel you need to. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put our props away. Lift our booties up and take our blanket or unroll our mat. And we're gonna come to all fours. Curl the toes under and lift the hips coming into a downward facing dog. So push your chest towards your thighs. Widen your stance if you need to. If your heels don't touch the ground, that's totally fine. Mine don't. And take a breath here. Make sure your ears are in line with your biceps. Now we're going to slowly walk our dog and get into the backs of those legs. So bending into one knee slowly, and then straightening that one leg and bending into the opposite knee. Remember to breathe, inhaling, exhaling. Doing this very slow, really getting into the backs of those calf muscles. Now find some stillness in your dog, and we're just gonna lift the left leg up to the sky for three-legged dog, targeting the back of the right leg. Don't worry, we're only here for a couple breaths. I know this is a difficult one, very strengthening as well. Of course, that could just be me right now because I'm pregnant. Bring that left leg down and just go right into the other side, lifting the right leg up. Now targeting the left side. Good. Bring the right leg back down into your down dog. Take a moment. Notice if you can feel a difference. And then we're going to inhale and we're going to step the right foot through so the pinky toe is lined up with the right thumb. And we're going to kind of drop our hips slightly to bring our leg at a 90 degree, our front leg at a 90 degree for a runner's lunge. Pressing through that back heel, really press through it. And then we're going to drop the left knee and draw our hips back, pointing our right toes up towards the ceiling for a half split. So the half split really targets the entire back of the legs. And remember, inhale, nice tall spine. You don't need to be trying to fold completely over your leg to really get in here. If you need your blocks, because this can be pretty intense too, you can just put them on whatever length works best and use them as extra support so that you can keep your spine nice and straight. Awesome. And then we're just going to bend the front leg and come back through, hands on the mat, curl the back toes under, bringing the right foot back to meet the left, pressing back into our downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And then we're going to do the other side. Carry the left foot through, left toes to left thumb. For our runner's lunge, bend through the front knee, draw the chest forward, shoulder blades back. And then drop the right knee, pull the hips back, pointing the left toes towards the ceiling. And it's important here to keep the hip points square. So in order to do that, really pull that left hip back to keep it in line with the right. Inhaling, exhaling. Good. And then bend through that front knee again, hands to the mat. Frame the foot. And we're just going to bring our left knee to meet our right knee, so we're on all fours again. Sit back on your heels and just roll to a seated position. Roll over to one side or the other. We'll be using a strap. You don't have to use a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use, this is a resistance band, a t-shirt, whatever you might have. And we're just going to do a seated forward bend, although we're not bending that much. So you're going to take your legs straight out in front of you. You're going to point your toes up to the ceiling. Nice tall spine. If you need to, pull the fleshy bits out from under your rear so that you're not hunched in the lower back, do that. Or if you need to prop yourself up on a blanket so that you're not hunching in the low back, please do. And we're just going to take our strap around the balls of our feet. And kind of just pull our feet back. Nice tall spine. Inhale, lift the spine up, lift the chest. Shoulder blades down and back. And then if it feels right for you, because this very well could be enough, this could be getting into your legs and feel really good. But if you want to go a little further, go ahead and lean forward. Keep that integrity in the spine. Shoulder blades down and back. Keeping the toes pointing towards the ceiling. Then take a moment, notice where you're feeling this. Like for me, I actually feel this way more in my left calf than I do in my right. I hardly feel anything in my right, which doesn't mean it's not doing anything. It certainly is. But I can feel the stretch much more intensely in my left side, which is interesting and makes the nerd in me want to overanalyze my walking positions. Remember to breathe. And when you're ready, inhale, come back up. Release your strap. Come to a cross-legged position. And that's it. That's all we're doing for today. Like I said, just a nice quick release for the backs of those lower legs. I hope it felt great. And again, you can do a lot of this. The exercise with the blanket or the exercise with the strap you can totally do while sitting watching TV before bed, and hopefully it'll help relieve tension. And I'm so glad that you joined me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.